All right, now we're back. We have D&D Beyond up, and we are going to create a level 1 character using just the free SRD rules.
Yeah.
So this is something that you can do. You don't have to pay for D&D Beyond if you don't want to, and you can build what we've got here. But if you choose that you like it and you want to use it, I think it's the best character builder they have out there. I'm not getting paid to say that.
No.
Although if you want to pay me, give me a call.
Hit us up on Twitter, maybe.
But I highly recommend using this. What you do have to do, though, is you have to buy each book individually. So you only buy the books that you want the options for. But you don't have to pay for anything just to be able to use it. So this is what we're doing here. So we're building a character. We're going to, the main thing that you do is they have a standard way. You can also build a random character. You say, build me a level 15 character, and it just chooses a bunch of random stuff for you. It's fun.
That sounds kind of fun,
right? They've made some really fun, entertaining things with that.
Cool. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah,
I've made a couple characters on D&D Beyond for some of the campaigns that we've done, and when Dan is our dungeon master, we have access to the things on D&D Beyond that he's unlocked. We can only have a certain amount of characters under his sort of flag, under your campaigns. But in that, we have access to all the stuff that he's unlocked, and so that's been really fun. I like the way that D&D Beyond works.
Yeah, it's a really nice thing. Someone like myself that's a dungeon master can share my stuff with my players, so they can use everything that I own, but when they go and build something on their own, they don't necessarily have it. So it's a win-win on each side. So what we're going to do here is we're going to build a variant human, and the reason why we're going to choose variant human is it's good at everything.
Yeah, you can choose what they will be good at.
Yep, you get to choose 2 abilities. You're going to increase them. So that's what we're going to pick. We're going to do a fighter for this, I think. So we want to be good at strength, and we want to be good at constitution. The skills, there's only one strength-based skill, so I think we might as well choose athletics.
Yeah, that's weird to me. I would think that I don't know off the top of my head what more strength-based skills there should be. But I would just assume that there would be an equal amount of skills across the stats.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
I don't know.
Charisma is like the skill king. They have
so
many different things you can do with that. But intelligence is another big skill one. But for this, we're going to choose athletics, and then we have to choose a feat. The only feat we have in the free stuff is the grappler. I actually think this feat's kind of worthless. But if you buy the player's handbook, there's a plethora of different things you can get in here, and they're super cool too.
Yeah, there's some really, really cool feats.
Being able to be a sharpshooter, so now you can hit people and do a lot more damage. Being a great weapon master, so now all of a sudden you're good with that. Or being a crossbow expert, so now you can use your crossbow as efficiently as other people use bows and other things. So there's a lot of options you get when you buy the actual book and use those feats. So for this, we have to choose a class. We're going to do the fighter. The fighter is kind of what I would call, what I want to use here because it's kind of the most basic.
Yeah, right? It's your standard character. There's a fighter, warrior, whatever in any fantasy or really any RPG game that you play. Right. And you don't have to worry about a whole lot. You just run in and you have a sword and maybe a shield and you just hit stuff.
Yeah, and there's no spells to memorize. There's none of that stuff that you have to worry about.
Yeah, right.
And it just makes things a little easier. Plus, it's going to go faster for us because we don't have to pick spells or anything.
Yeah. I do have friends that when they start Dungeons & Dragons, I encourage them to play a melee class, like a barbarian or a fighter, or even like a ranger that just uses a bow, because for that reason, that you don't have spells. And it's just that spells take a little bit more preparation, a little bit more know-how, I guess.
You need to know what they do.
Yeah, you need to know what the spells do. You need to manage your spell slots. So something like a wizard, a sorcerer, a warlock. I don't discourage anyone who hasn't played Dungeons & Dragons to not play that as their first class. But if you do, just know that it requires a lot more than what a fighter or a ranger would.
You're right. Yeah, you're expected to use those spells in the right situations, so you have to memorize what all of them do. Yeah. Okay, so we get some proficiencies. So we're good at stuff. We can have heavy armor, things like that. So we've chosen perception and intimidation as our 2 skills. So we're going to be good at intimidating people, and we're going to be good at seeing things. Now we have to choose a fighting style. So what kind of fighter would we want to be? And we actually have all of them unlocked, which surprises me a little bit. I haven't done the free SRD stuff.
Yeah, I thought that
for a while.
I thought that there was just one subclass that you could choose, but I guess I'm
Well,
wrong.
this isn't a subclass. This is like kind of a style of what type of weapon are you more trained in.
Oh, okay,
Right?
sure, yeah.
So for this, what kind of fighter do we want to
you're
make?
right.
Do we want to make an archer type fighter? Do we want to make somebody that's got a big two-handed weapon and just wants to go and hit people with a big sword?
That
Because
sounds
then we
pretty
choose
cool.
great weapon fighting.
Okay.
Let's do great weapon fighting. Let's do
fighting.
that. Great weapon fighting it is. So that gives us some things. We get to re-roll some dice to help us do more damage.
That's nice.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And since we're only a level 1, that's really all there is to creating this character. So we said, these are the things we want to be good at. Here's the weapon we're going to choose, ostensibly. And that's it at level 1, really.
Yeah.
So now we move on to the next section, which is going to be, what are our stats? Now, there's a lot of ways you can go about this. You can have somebody roll them, which is super random. I think we're going to pick a standard array. And what that is, you get a couple of things that you're really good at. There are some things you're kind of in the middle at, and then there's going to be something that you're really not that great at.
Okay.
Right? Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. Everyone in the world, I like to say, has put their points into different stuff. Right? So, you have the mountain, for example, that breaks the world record for deadlifting.
Oh my gosh, that guy's crazy.
He's put his points into strength. But the computer nerd guy that's sitting over there, he's not a strength-based character, but he's put his points into intellect. Yeah. Everyone's different, and that's what this kind of reflects. So we're going to go ahead and put them in for a strength-based character. So we're going to put our strength really big. We're going to put our constitution really big. Dexterity is really pretty important for a lot of people, and people that are strong are usually relatively dexterous. So that's fine. Wisdom, we don't really need a whole lot of. Intelligence, we really don't need a whole lot of. And charisma are kind of meh, just depending on what you want your character to do. So we're going to throw in our points accordingly. And then we have to choose our background.
Yeah.
Right? Now, we're the hometown heroes, so they actually have a folk hero background.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That we come from that. So that's what we're going to pick here, because we're the hometown heroes. And it makes sense. And that background gives you some stuff. You'll either be good at different tools that kind of fall into what your background is. Maybe you learn some languages, and you'll usually get some sort of buff.
Yeah.
So for this one, actually, if you... so you can see that we've got animal handling and survival are the 2 skill proficiencies that we get from it. And then you get the special ability Rustic Hospitality. So Rustic Hospitality, if you click on that, it says, since you're a common folk, you can find a place to hide, rest, recuperate. So it lets you talk to commoners better and be able to find accommodations
because you're
with
one of them.
Because those are your peeps.
A lot of the benefits that you get from your background are normally out of combat things. They're normally more of the role-playing, world immersion abilities, like being able to find a place to rest.
Right.
I mean, if you play a high elf, you might not be able to find an inn as easily as if you were a human folk hero, depending on the town that you're in or something.
Right.
There are a lot of variations, and that's when kind of the flavor of your character really, really comes through, and it's a lot of fun to see those tiny variances come into play in the story.
Yeah, being able to have someone like a criminal that has a criminal contact to be able to get them jobs.
Yeah.
Somebody that is like an acolyte for a temple is able to find a place of rest. Like a sage type character, if he doesn't know a piece of information, knows where to go and get it.
Yeah.
Things like that. They're always kind of just this little tiny, not really power-based thing that just helps flavor your character of what you can do. And then after that, you get some suggested characteristics. These just kind of help you with your role-playing.
Yeah.
So
there's too many for us to go through right now.
Right.
But some of them are really, really cool, and again, really help you flesh out who your character is and how you want to play them.
And how they would act in certain situations.
And a lot of that is really important. Like I said before, when I first started out, I was really just playing a class, and that wasn't quite as fun, but once I really started to develop my character is when I just wanted to play every single weekend, and like it just opened up the whole world of Dungeons and Dragons for me. It was really, really fun.
Very cool. So in the end, that's really kind of what we end up coming to. Now we can hit that button on the right after choosing some of these options like alignment and things like that, which I don't think we have enough time to get into. But these just help flesh out your character. And then you get the equipment. They have a starting equipment thing that you can go through. But in the end, I mean, that's really the biggest part of creating a character. We have a class, we have the right levels and the right things. And this makes it really, really easy to be able to go through.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you guys go. Now I think we're going to jump in and actually kind of show a little bit of this.
Yeah. So now, I've prepared, we're going to do a level 5 character.
Okay.
We're both going to have a level 5 character. Delta G is going to be our dungeon master. And we're actually going to go through the scenario of the different sets that we've shown tonight. And just have a little sample encounter. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's going to be our game tonight. Stick around. We're going to set that up, and we'll be right back.